Let's get across what's been making moves on the market today with Julia Lee from Bell Direct. Julia.
Hi Leah, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. What did you make of today?
Well, the Australian market amazingly resilient given that we do see a holiday in the US tonight, so we did see some lighter volumes going through, but also around the region. Once again, the focus was on the trade tensions between China and the US, as well as the US and Canada. But given that the market's seemingly resilient and we're still pretty close to those decade highs, it was amazing the number of companies that we saw in the ASX 200 hitting all-time highs on the market, and this included stocks like Bapcor, Brickworks, and in the health space, Cochlear, CSL, ResMed. We saw corporate travel, Macquarie Group, Seek, all hitting all-time record highs on the market. So really impressive. And look, Leo, this group of companies have all increased about 30 to 75% over the past 52 weeks. CSL, of course, is a standout there in the #1 spot, increasing 75% over the past year. And it really has been a story where it's been hard to get into the stock if you've been chasing it, because it's been up every single month this year except for the month of March. But on the flip side, it was interesting those companies hitting 52-week lows, and that included Fortescue in the material space as well as Sims Metal Group. But altogether, look, steady as she goes, and we were just waiting for the US to come back from holidays. So I guess it'll speed up a little bit more later on in the week, but it was pretty quiet today. What
was behind the poor showing by Fortescue there today?
I think there's been a big gap between, I guess, the quality of iron ore that's been in demand from China. We know that China has been in the process of trying to cut pollution, and that has meant using that high quality iron ore, which means they can use more environmentally friendly blast furnaces when it comes to making steel. And unfortunately, Fortescue does have that lower quality product. So look, it has continually been under pressure, and that is concerning because we have seen BHP and Rio Tinto holding up fairly well, but we're seeing Fortescue continue to come under pressure, and unfortunately that 52-week low today.
Yeah, that lower quality iron ore issue really showing up in their results as well. Northern Star was pretty interesting today, Julia.
It was. I think when it comes to gold miners, when you're having a look at those tier 1 countries, which are considered to be Australia, Canada, as well as the US, there aren't many huge gold mines out there. I think there's 17 gold mines which produce more than 300,000 ounces of gold a year. Now, Northern Star has made an acquisition, and that means that in terms of production, it's set to become the second largest gold producer listed on the Australian market. Look, this is a pretty impressive a find that they've seen, because it is value accretive, it's high grade, it's in a low risk jurisdiction in Alaska. And look, looking at Alaska, it's an interesting place. It's an underexplored place with a lack of infrastructure. And the fact that it's an existing mine, I think, is a positive. So the Pogo mine, which it's looking to acquire, is expected to produce between 250,000 ounces to 260,000 ounces a year. And that means the FY19 guidance for Northern Star has increased to 850,000 to 900,000 ounces. And look, Northern Star has real expertise at exploration and underground mining. And look, this is likely to see the growth of the Pogo mine as well as reserves, as we've seen at the Jundee mine over in Western Australia. So it looks like they're set to potentially have 2 of those tier 1 mines, and given that there aren't a lot of those around the world, it's going to be pretty impressive. And look, the share price reflected that today. We saw double-digit gains.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you as well about Fisher & Paykel. Caught your attention, Julia.
This is one of the worst performers on the market today, and look, they've cut their guidance. This is on the back of legal costs related to a ResMed action. And look, ResMed's made a patent allegation, and it's in relation to the US, the obstructive sleep apnea masks. And that makes up around about 15% of revenue for Fisher & Paykel, so that's quite a lot. Now, their previous guidance was for around about 215 million New Zealand dollars, and they've changed that to 205 to 210 million New Zealand dollars. But look, I think the uncertainty around this litigation, to be fair, these 2 companies have been in litigation since around about 2016 throughout the US, Europe, New Zealand and Australia. So litigation is nothing new here, but it is quite complex and it's quite difficult to predict the outcome. And as I mentioned, those OSA masks for Fisher & Paykel are around about 15% of revenue over in the US. So it is a substantial part of its business, and we did see the shares coming under pressure today.